Welcome, everyone. We're here with Compass agents and employees from all around the United States, as well as some new faces that are not actually officially part of the Compass family just yet, but we are laser focused on delivering the future of real estate, and not just for Compass agents. It's really no matter which brokerage you call home. So welcome and welcome. Before we get started today, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dustin, and in addition to hosting live talks at Compass, I'm part of the growth strategy team here at Compass, and we focus on delivering business consulting to potential Compass agents and delivering value, bringing on programs and great speakers like we have today. So my favorite thing to do is to learn and to share those learnings with others. And today we've got three things to do. We're really going to take a look at artificial intelligence and what it means in real estate, what it means at Compass, and some best practices from a few of the speakers that have been on a whirlwind tour of the United States presenting on the topic. I'll also be able to live demo one of our newest experiments in the Compass platform, which I'm super excited about. And then we're going to bring in two top Compass agents to understand how they're deploying technology to save time and grow in their own businesses. So as I mentioned, we're building upon the last class where we really talked about ChatGPT and some of the generative AI. And two of the presenters that I'll start to welcome in have been on a mission to make sure that every agent they talk to gets a better understanding how this is going to impact their businesses. So don't worry, they're going to share the key takeaways from that last class in the beginning, so you didn't miss anything. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome in our National Head of Agent Development, Sky Michaels. Hi, Sky.
Hey, Dustin, how's it going?
Good. Welcome back to Live Talks. You're the energy man, such a great friend, known you for almost 5 years, but how excited are you to be back here today?
Hey, I'm beyond excited, and mainly because of the fact that the conversations I have the privilege of traveling across the country and talking to Compass agents and non-Compass agents all around the country about real estate, about what's happening in their market, and more importantly, what is happening with technology and how it influences their day-to-day business and the future of what the real estate industry is going to be.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for you to get back because I wanted to hear, as you go to all these parts of the United States and all these different offices where people and businesses and clients are a little bit different, what has been most enlightening for you from talking about this technology with everyone?
In regards to AI, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Bard, Compass AI, et cetera, I think the first reaction from a lot of people is fear, right? The first reaction is this going to actually replace me? Is this going to take away my job? Wait, I'm not that comfortable with it. But then as they start to learn and as the technology unfolds, what the real understanding is rolling into is actually it makes you more human. And the reality is what we're driving at Compass is how can we help you increase your humanity within the business by using artificial intelligence. And as an example, Dustin, years ago when you took a road trip with your family, what would you have to do? You'd have a roadmap, or maybe I remember in real estate when I started out, I did not know always where I was going. So I would print out the map quest to each house, and I'd be so stressed out that I would miss the 0.1 mile turn. And I'd be looking oh my God, scratching off turn by turn. But today, what do we have in our palm of our hands? We have Google Maps, right? And I have zero qualms about typing an address into Google Maps and allowing that artificial intelligence to help guide me in my travel. And in many ways, that's the equivalent of what we need to do within real estate. The artificial intelligence that we're building here at Compass is actually designed to help you become more human. In other words, give you time back in your day that you can reinvest into your relationships. Because the reality of this business, Dustin, it is an old school business. Human relationships, your contacts, the people you know, the people you care about, those are the ones that are going to produce the vast majority of your business. And if you can invest more time into deepening your connection, deepening your relationships, understanding the problems and challenges that they have, that is going to result in more business and better business. It's going to feel good for you as well.
Oh, I love that. I love the more human aspect. And I also love for the 22 people that ask questions about this very topic that you're hitting it straight up front. There's a lot of people that are worried, right? And so the themes you're feeling from being out there, we're also seeing in some of our chat. So we're going to get into it. And speaking of more human, let's have you welcome in your partner in crime, Dylan.
Yeah. So one of the best parts about being at Compass is all the amazing, talented employees that we get to work with in all the regions that we have. So let me welcome on a dear friend of mine and also a colleague that helps me with my 6 a.m.ers, that helps tons of agents in the DMV region as well with marketing, with technology, with support, Dylan McGuire. So Dylan, welcome back.
Thank you. Hello, Sky. Hello, Dustin. I'm so excited to be back here. So excited to get more into this topic, and so excited for everyone who's joining in here today as well. And always happy to see how many people are passionate about diving into something new that can be scary and it can be very difficult to lean into. But everyone that always hops into these feels like they're taking that one step closer to moving into what's coming to that down the road for them and for our industry as a whole.
And Dylan, I think one of the things, as you've been teaching a lot about this, how does that resonate with what you're teaching, the human aspect of what we're trying to build?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it all, like everything within, especially marketing and even business development and real estate, it all ties in to one goal of being able to provide better service for your clients. And that doesn't come from the AI or the tools. It comes from you being able to utilize what's available to you. And so that's, I think, the big message that I try to really hone in on a lot of this isn't kind of, as you were saying, replacing anything. This is helping you become a better version of what you're already trying to get towards. And it just makes it so much quicker and so much easier the more that you dive into all this to make it that connection and those friendships and those relationships deeper and stronger, because you now have so much more resources at hand for you to be able to utilize.
I love that. Well, Dylan, yeah, let's just start out. Once again, I'm going to just give everyone, as a real estate agent myself, I've been in real estate for 23 years. Yeah, I really want to stress that this is artificial intelligence, right? So what we're talking about and training and coaching on is that this is a tool that you can use to help you, but it is not something that replaces you, and your human intelligence needs to trump everything. So anytime you're using any kind of artificial intelligence, whether it's Google Maps, right? You always got to be like, wait, that is not right. I know this neighborhood, I know the direction. Or when we're using, let's say, ChatGPT, and you get a listing description, you need to apply your human intelligence to make sure everything is legal and in with real estate compliance as well. So as we talk, we'll probably make sure we remind everyone about this as well. And I love this little prompt, Dylan, right? In the chat, and Dylan, I love using the chat. In one word, I would love for everyone to put what comes to mind when you think about AI. Just add in the chat, what's the one word that pops into your mind? And we'll sort of monitor the chat. Control, perfection, change, automation, futuristic, rule-based, Terminator, genius, matrix, efficiency, time. Great job in the chat, everyone. Opportunity, assistance, robot. Beautiful words coming in. And as you can see, there's all stretches. So Dylan, why don't we dive in? I'm going to let you run with this a little bit. Let's just level set today. What is out there today available? And by the way, this is available to every agent on this call, including obviously our Compass agents. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into Compass and how we are leveraging AI in the platform, and a very, very special announcement and live demo of something that I'm beyond excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kind of slide that we'll have here and what I'm about to get into, it's really just like an entry level explanation into what is happening on the back end of a lot of these tools, so that you can sort of help better yourself start to utilize these tools. And generative AI is kind of the overarching theme that a lot of the ChatGPT, right, is the big buzzword. Bard from Google recently rolled out as well, very similar tool. Those are two of hundreds of examples, and there's new ones happening every single day. So they're all based off of more or less similar technology. But what it's actually doing here is it's not creating necessarily information or being able to read what you're thinking and then hopefully be able to produce a full new result. What it's doing is essentially being your research assistant at a scale that is hard to even imagine unless you're really going into what it's pulling from. And so where these slides are kind of going into is looking at how the tools, whether it's GPT, Bard, the one that we'll get into a little bit later on, how those answers and conversations from the chatbots are actually being executed on the AI side of things. And so the main thing that you have to understand is a lot of what it's pulling from is existing data, information, articles, research pieces, videos, all of this stuff that's already available to us when you go into Google and do your own search, but it's reading through all of these thousands and trillions of data points in real time in nanoseconds. And so it's making an assumption and a guess off of what you're prompting it to do. Usually it's a question or it's asking it to do something, looking through all the available data points that it has to go from and saying, based off of what I assume that you're asking me, this is most likely the best guess answer at what you would like me to produce. And so that's where I kind of like tie it into a research assistant, because we can go online and go into Google and search for information ourselves, read through articles, dig a little bit deeper. It takes some time though, right? And that's the big thing that a lot of this AI is doing, is it's taking time back or away from our research and giving it back to us so that we can focus a little bit more on what we want to be. And so that's where these educated guesses come from. It's all of that information, all of those data points from Google, from other conversations the users are having, from different topics that it's able to pull from in the past, from seeing what other people are looking for, understanding what was successful there, and learning from it as well. So it's always ever changing too. And you even hear about it in GPT of there's new versions, 3.5, 4, 4.5. It's all that's that updated version for it. I think the easiest way to kind of look at what it's doing, and something that most of us are very, very familiar with, that has been happening for a long time, is the Google search bar. You go on to google.com and you start typing in, what are the best, and you see those guesses that Google's making, right? Those educated guesses that it's producing in real time of what you're most likely to finish that sentence with. It's the same concept at a much, much larger, grander scale beyond just one sentence fills. And now it's conversation fills. So it's taking what you're asking for it, running it against all that, and giving it back to you to try to make that best educated guess. And so when we look at what real estate agents are really starting to use it for, and GPT and Bard, these are brand new tools. So we're all on like the early side of this, and these are going to continue to develop as we go, which is the most exciting thing for me, is how people are going to innovate with a lot of this. These are the two areas that we see a lot of people getting started with. It's two sides. It's your listing sides. How can I help it better market, win, sell my listings? And then your kind of personal brand marketing side, right? How can I win more clients? How can I better connect with my database? How can I make that more human connection that we were talking about? So some examples here that are, on the left side of this screen, on the listing side of it, that first side, listing descriptions, right? Whether or not we all want to spend hours and days writing those listing descriptions, it can help kind of reduce the time on that tenfold. Whether it's creating marketing strategies for that, helping you organize yourself through checklists, through opportunities, making sure you're checking all of those possible options that you can do when you get a new listing, or even, as we'll get into a little bit later in the demo, how to generate more listings for your own business so that you can continue to grow as a realtor and provide more human experience for your client as well. So that listing side is where we're seeing a lot of action come from on the early side of real estate agents. But again, right, not just on the listing side, on that branding kind of personal side of the second one is, how do I even connect with my clients? I want to make sure that I'm being the best realtor. I'm creating the most value that I can for my clients. I'm on our marketing side here. A lot of what I talk about with agents in this region and across the country is sort of that brand. Everyone has their own personal brand, and being able to help make it so easy to have that brand cohesion everywhere you exist. And that means your emails, your social media, outside advertisement, digital ads, events, right? The list can go on and on there. This is something that can be a really useful tool, saying, I really want to talk about the market in my neighborhood this month when I'm reaching out to my clients, but I also know I have 100 different things that I got to do. I got to push out in all these different locations. This tool can make it so you can take that one simple message and easily spread it to all different channels in the best possible way that fits that specific channel, right? And I think that's a really, really powerful tool here, whether it's bios, things like that. I think the screenshot here on the right side is a great example of that content brainstorming option that you can do with it too. Say you're an agent that works with a lot of first-time home buyers. We all want to provide value to our first-time home buyers or to our potential clients as well, but it can be difficult month after month, week after week, year after year to say, what am I even talking about now? I feel like I've gone through the gauntlet, right? This can be a tool that can make it so you don't have to worry about, am I even talking about something they're caring about? You can ask it to give you a list of 10 problems many first-time homebuyers face, and these tools can produce what is the most common thread of first-time homebuyer problems across everywhere online right now. So you don't have to worry about, do they actually even care about the lack of funds being an issue? Yeah, they do, right? It's giving you that list from all these sources. And so you can trust that it's pulling from so many areas that by the time it gets back to you, it's weeding out the things that might not be as important. So you can now say confidently to yourself, focusing on lack of funds and how I can help my clients overcome that, subside that fear, work towards defeating that obstacle is something that will create a lot of value. And it just goes on and on from there. So whether you're on your listing or personal side, it's great. But, Sky, we're here to talk about some of the things Compass is doing as well. And our AI databases is strong. So want to give some examples of what's going on there?
And before I do, I wanted to jump in here as well. I'm going to go through with everyone some examples. I want to give everyone, there's a really, really important comment that came in the chat. I believe it was from Connie. And she said, all this new technology is overwhelming and makes you want to just pull back and not do anything. And it is very overwhelming when you're getting bombarded by messages of here's this new training, here's this new tech, et cetera. So I want to give everyone on this call a very quick analogy that I want you to use as you're approaching this technology and as you're approaching the training and the messages you're going to get thrown. And it is I call it the apple tree analogy, because if you look at an apple tree, there are tons of apples on that tree, but it is impossible for you to eat all the apples. So what you want to do is pick the one apple that's going to benefit you the most and enjoy that apple and only focus on that. If you pick them all at once and you don't eat them, they go bad. If you pick them all at once and you try to eat them, you're going to get sick. So only worry about picking one apple at a time. And this tech and this technology that we're showing you is designed in many ways to do just that. And one of our goals here at Compass is that we want to actually make that apple tree really, really small so that you don't even notice that all of these messages, all of these tools are happening. They're all in the background, very, very similar to your iPhone. There's a lot of technology going on in here, but often we don't even notice it because it's just in the background of the phone. So on that note, what we're trying to do here at Compass is build technology that makes you more human. And I equate this to going to old school real estate and combining that with modern technology. And when we take old school real estate, which is relationships, caring about people, delivering tons of value, and we combine that with technology, that's where we create some really special magic for your business. So on the left-hand side, you can see just a sampling of some of the tools that we have that use artificial intelligence. And as Dylan explained, we're using artificial intelligence in our daily lives all the time. But we wanted to just give you some quick examples of 4 types of tools that we have here where the AI is built into the background. So Dustin, let's go to the next slide. The first one I wanted to stress is something we call Compass Likely to Sell. And in the chat, you put the word me. If sometimes you wake up and in the course of the day, your question is, who should I reach out to today to see if I could help them sell their home? And what this tool is trying to do, it's trying to answer this question. It's trying to answer the question, who you should reach out to. And artificial intelligence basically is working with your CRM. And all it's doing is saying, here are people in your CRM that once again, old school real estate, their homes are matching these other homes that are on the market. It does not mean they're definitely going to sell. It just means that there is a potential that they're going to sell. I apologize for the fire truck going in the background in a second. I'll let them clear out. So that is what, sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully we're beyond that. So that is what this Compass Likely to Sell is doing. Because the reality is, to generate more business, you need to do more conversations. You have to have more conversations with people you know. And these conversations, by the way, don't even need to be about real estate. But what this tool is doing is you wake up in the morning and it's telling you, if you're going to reach out to someone, here are the people that we would recommend you reach out to. to generate that conversation. And the reason is because of the fact that we have, hundreds or thousands of names in our database. And if we're reaching out to them randomly, it's not very effective. Instead, we should reach out to them in a targeted, once again, succinct approach. And that's what Compass Likely to Sell is. Dylan, let's go to the next one. The next one is Compass Lens. And this is a tool, once again, one of my biggest frustrations was walking into a listing and trying to convince a seller that we should improve the property because we're going to sell it at a higher price. And this is so frustrating when you're trying to tell someone and you know it as an agent and they just don't get it. And part of it is because they can't visualize it. So the second tool we have is something we call Compass Lens. And what this is Compass agents all around the country send in before and after photos of their listings. And they're all using, concierge and all these products to improve their listings. And what it is a database where you can actually take a picture, upload it into Lens, and then you could see roughly, it's trying to match other kitchens, other living rooms, other bathrooms that are similar to this. So you now aren't just trying to convince the seller from your voice and your sales pitch, right? You're actually showing them a potential visual. Is it an exact replica? Not exact, but let's be real. You see enough kitchens in your day, you're going to find one that's pretty close, pretty similar. And it really, really helps a seller say, oh, wow, that will make sense. This looks so much better. And now we're competitive with these cream puff properties that are on the market selling really, really fast. Dustin, let's go to the next one. Oh, go ahead.
The Lens tool, I think another really cool way that kind of goes back into how agents are providing value, not just through the sale, but continually after the sale as well. There's probably a lot of agents on here that have clients reaching out to them saying, I do want to renovate my home now. What do you think would work best? These are the kind of tools that you can even use to be able to help people say, this style might look really great versus this style, and help them make that most informed decision. So even beyond the transaction, a lot of these tools continue to allow you to be that top of mind resource for your clients, which, right, that's what it's all about here, is making sure that you're there all along the road for them, and you're making sure that they can make the best decision for them down the road or in the process too.
It's great, Dylan. And the line I like to use on that note is, if you want to make more money, provide more value. And that's really what you're trying to do here, is provide more value to your sellers. So, all right, next tool, the CMA tool. So once again, everyone on this call creates CMAs, and we love trying to have a seller look at the different properties and the different photos. But unfortunately, most of the time, we can only email them a link from the MLS, or maybe there's a different tool that shows some of it. What we've done in the CMA tool is we've, number one, sped up the entire process by building AI. So it's predicting what comparable properties exist out there, which, by the way, you apply your human intelligence to actually edit and put in the exact comps you want. But then more importantly, it's creating this really engaging presentation for your clients, and the clients can actually compare side by side the bathrooms, the kitchens, the living rooms, and the AI is matching these photos off of what's in the photo. So it becomes a very quick, easy, and powerful presentation when you're sitting in front of a seller. So this is our CMA tool, and one of my favorites actually, and I actually spin this into a yearly portfolio review where you can actually provide this to a seller, or I'm sorry, to a homeowner you helped buy a home, as a yearly portfolio review. This way, elevating your service. And the key thing is never treating a client like a past client, always treating people like a current client, just like your financial advisors treat you the way that you are a current client. Everyone on this call, your past clients, quote unquote, should never be past clients. They should always be current clients, and you should be figuring out how you can provide more value beyond the transaction. All right, the last one, Dustin.
The last one's actually a surprise. This is something that we're really excited to share.
Yeah, and I've been reading the chat, and I think Carrie put in there as well, right? Correct prompts are the key to getting the best responses, which is spot on. You can go in there and ask it one thing. If you don't like what you get back from it, having that continued conversation is the best way to continue going about finding ultimately what you're looking for. So these are just a few of kind of the easy starting best practices when you talk about using ChatGPT, Compass GPT, or even Bard as well. One of the main things that you're going to want to take understanding of is just what you're looking for to start with, right? That output. Are you looking for social media posts? Are you looking for an email, a listing description, event ideas? The more context you can give around it and say, produce it as X or as Y, it's going to understand how to format it the best way possible so that it makes it as easy as possible for you to be able to save that time that you're ultimately looking for. One of the fun ones too is it can be a master of anything, right? It wears a lot of hats. And so we're giving a lot of good real estate examples, but ChatGPT is not a real estate based tool in nature. It's an AI chat tool in nature. And so any industry is able to use it. The more you're able to give it context around what you are and how to act. So act as a realtor, act as a client of a real estate agent looking for something. If you're trying to get ideas from the client side, that can give it a little bit more context to reframe some of that output that you're going to ultimately be able to utilize as well. The limitations, I think, is cool is in a different sense there too. The way that we talked about your bio, a lot of us have our bio that can be a little bit longer, but a lot of the times we might need a shortened bio. We might need half of that bio. Same with listing descriptions. You have a certain length that you need it to stay under, whether it's for a marketing or MLS opportunity. Or if you're looking for social media options, right, it doesn't just have to be create a social media post, create me 3, create me 5, create me a month-long calendar, as Dustin put in there too. So continue to give it that information. And then I think the one other area there, really kind of hone in on having conversations. It's easy to go in and just say, do this or create this. You can ask it to learn about the topic. And so that screenshot about the 10 problems home buyers face, ask it to learn what home buyers are working with. All right, what specifically within that topic stresses them? What are they most excited for? What's the biggest opportunity available? These can be better ways for you to then say at the end, like, okay, I like that there's an opportunity around option number 4 you gave. Can we create an email to highlight that and be able to showcase that it's easy to get started on, you know, being able to save up the funds as a first-time home buyer. So those conversations and really allowing it to get full context with you instead of those one-offs can help you really hone in on getting that best output possible for your ultimate goal as well.
Yeah, and once again, and you got a lot of people are highlighting some stuff in the chat. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can in the chat, but we just want to stress that this is artificial intelligence, right? It's not replacing you, and it's not especially replacing your humanity, your experience as a realtor, your knowledge of the law, etc. So always make sure when you're using any AI that you are double checking the information. The other thing I really want to stress is it does not replace your relationships. If you are typing something in ChatGPT or Compass GPT and you just copy paste it and use it, it's not your language. So it's really critical that you redo this and you use it to get you 80 to 90% of the way there. And that last 10% is where your voice, your authenticity kicks in and allows you to make sure that you're marketing and talking to your clients in your voice. It's really, really key. And then finally, as we said many times, but just to reiterate it, make sure you are checking this for fair housing law violations, like we sort of illustrated with the master suite. Most of our MLSs do not allow that language. So you need to go back in and make sure anything that is highlighted or written by ChatGPT or Compass GPT for that matter is applicable to fair housing laws. Well, we've been talking tech, we've been talking AI. Any questions you have, I would love to see you add those into the chat. Once again, we'll try to get as many people answering the chat as possible. But I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing 2 amazing Compass agents, Andrea Rupert from our Bay Area and Rich Hoppin from our New Jersey area. So Andrea and Rich, if you guys don't mind, if you could unmute.
Hey there.
How's it going? How are you?
Good.
Well, let's just start out quickly with 2 brief introductions. And Andrea, maybe introduce yourself, say a little bit about your business, and then Rich will have the same question to you.
Hi, good morning and good afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. I'm just so excited to be here with you all. And, you know, the reason I love Compass is the tools. I mean, this is so crazy to see this new tool being presented, and I'm so excited about it. So I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I work here in the East Bay, Oakland, Alameda, Berkeley area. I've been in real estate for 8 years now, and I've been at Compass mostly for the last 5 years. And I love it. I love the people. I love collaborating without ego. I love moving fast and dreaming big, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And Andrea, before we get to Rich, do you mind, you did have a brief hiatus where you did take it. Do you mind telling everyone quickly that you did have a little bit of a, you don't need to name the brokerage, but.
Sure. Yeah. I had a quick little hop earlier this year. You know, my sales manager from Compass made a jump and kind of recruited me to come over to a new company. And I was over there for a couple months, and I was just so disappointed in what they had, and so happy to be welcomed back to Compass with open arms. So
awesome.
I like to tell my local agents I did it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, very good. Well, we appreciate you being here and appreciate you providing some education and input to everyone on this. Rich, if you don't mind, let's give a quick introduction of you, your business, and
Sure.
then we'll get into some of our questions.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a pretty atypical broker. So I've been doing residential real estate for about 7 years, the last year and a half or so at Compass. Before that, I did commercial real estate brokerage. I represented large national and global companies. I helped them find Class A office space around the country. And before that, I was a lawyer for many years. So
Nice.
That's my background. So right now I work out of the Short Hills, New Jersey office. I focus on the real estate piece of what I do. I focus on Westfield, New Jersey. It's a relatively small market. But really, since I sat in on my first training with Dylan and Sky, I became absolutely obsessed with this technology. So obsessed that I actually launched a chatbot company with a software engineer that's got AI expertise. And I also started writing, in order to help me learn, I started writing about AI, and I actually write an AI daily newsletter. And I have about 1,000 subscribers, and I'm happy to share that with you guys. So the easiest way to sign up is you could just go to my website, which is reale.ai, and you can sign up there.
Awesome. And for Andrew, let's start with you. You just saw this quick demo of Compass GPT. You guys are probably some of the first agents to see it actually demoed, and there's way more to this as well. How do you feel this would impact your business, and what gets you excited about this?
Ooh, I'm so excited about this. Well, I was taking notes while we were just reading that. I think the first thing that really I resonated with is I hate writing listing descriptions. I mean, I love to write and I love getting new listings, but I kind of always agonize over getting the words just right. And so I think this will help me just do it a bit faster and kind of, you know, I'll go in and change it and make it my own, but just having that kind of first draft to get me started, I think will save time. And I mean, using it as far as the content calendar for social media will be amazing. Just again, sometimes we get stalled out, or like I won't do something because I can't think of all the ideas. And so having this would definitely
huge
help a lot. Yeah, it's really
a lot.
great.
Yeah. Rich, how about for you? I know you're obviously an expert with ChatGPT, but with Compass GPT, what we're building into the platform, and I think you are part of the beta test as well. How do you feel this will help agents in their business?
So I think that the resources that Compass offers from the marketing side I loved your metaphor of an apple tree, because it's vast and it's overwhelming. And one of the things that when I joined Compass and I was learning about the tools and I had all this training, I talked to a lot of people. My biggest challenge was figuring out, okay, well, where do I focus? And to have a chatbot that can guide you through that process, it would be phenomenal. And I know my guess is whether it's version 1 of of Compass, GPT, or version 3, eventually it'll be just like ChatGPT, where you can have a conversation with it. It'll ask about your strengths and what you're good at, and it'll guide you down a path. And I had to get that, like by talking with different agents who were successful and got their advice, and I got great advice. But to have a chat tool to do that, I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's exactly the direction it is going, and it's not there. It's almost there right now, even, which is really exciting. Rich, how about for you? What are 2 tools you use within the Compass platform now that are helping your business beyond like ChatGPT? Within Compass, though, what are 2 of the tools that you use the most? And Andrew, we'll come to you with the same question.
Yeah, so a tool that I use every single day, and I have been for over a year is I write a newsletter. So every morning I am on that tool composing, and I use ChatGPT to get some research. I usually spend an hour figuring out what I'm going to write. I write it, I post it, and I mail it to my audience. And the interesting thing is, so I'm providing valuable information to them. I have an open rate of over 60%. And most of the time, I mean, I've written about all kinds of topics. It's interesting to see the open rate's consistent, whether I'm talking about real estate in Westfield or wire fraud, or, you know, now it's AI. So it's me, you know, top of mind with people. So I couldn't do anything without that.
Amazing. And then combine that with the CRM, as I'm assuming as well, right? Like you're the people that are responding, especially you're going to get some new attendees from this. You're adding those into.
Yes, right. Okay. Yes. And it's so integrated in my mind. I don't even think of those as two separate pieces, but you're right. It's the CRM tied in with the platform that allows me to send out my newsletter. And then I can go into the newsletter every morning or in the afternoon and see who opens it up and who reads it. And then, you know, and the interesting thing is with writing and sort of the style that I write, I feel like I've built a personal relationship with a lot of people that are reading my stuff. Like just this morning, I linked to a family video that I made because it was kind of relevant.
It's perfect.
So yeah, so those tools are, I mean, I can't imagine life without that.
Amazing. Andrea, for you, what are two of the Compass tools you use the most, and like what are the ones that you'd like people to know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Marketing Center is definitely like huge. You know, it has the newsletter, it has, you know, the social media posts, it has your listing presentations and your CMAs. And so I know it's a huge tool, but I would say that that is like my go-to spot, and just it's amazing and so easy to use and so quick. And you can just, you know, have such outreach in so few minutes that it's really incredible. And I remember being here at Compass 5 years ago, and you know, the tools were just not there, and there's no other brokerage that has tools like this. So it's really that Marketing Center I also love tours. So it's like such a great, you were talking about Google Maps earlier and like printing out, you know, addresses. So just being able to take a client on a tour to 5, 6 different properties. And the most amazing thing is like, once I have it all mapped out, I, you know, get into my car and it pulls up on my screen and automatically like connects to my car and tells me where I need to go. And, you know, has it all timed out and has notes in there about, you know, CVS codes on lockboxes. So it's just an amazing tool. And I don't think that any other brokerage has anything close to it.
Nope. Yeah. And it's amazing too, like that's using AI in many ways as well, right? But we don't even notice the AIs that play. Like what's the optimal route to show these properties, and it'll map it and everything along those lines. And you're still showing properties. All it's doing is saving you that time, that hour would have taken you to map it and plot it and then write the lockbox codes. Poof, within 3 minutes, it's done. And that's a huge value add for you as an agent. So, Rich, let's go back to you, because you're an expert with AI, crypto, you know, all this. What do you see as the most common resistance or challenge agents have with getting to use this technology?
Yeah, so I think it depends, you know, which technology we're talking about. So
let's stay on the AI. Let's not the crypto a little bit. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right. Crypto is so incredibly complex. People couldn't get their minds around it, you know.
Yeah.
That's a heavy lift for me trying to understand it, let alone try to explain people. So, I mean, I think for AI, it's just so brand new. One of the things that I would recommend people that they do is just, it's hard to understand the application to real estate unless you're using it yourself. So I really urge people to download it, the desktop, and then the company that launched ChatGPT, OpenAI, I think it's about a week and a half ago, they launched their official app on the App Store, in the Apple App Store. Okay. So I highly recommend it. I use it all the time. I use it for a lot of personal stuff with shopping and recipes and whatever. Anytime you go search something, like I'm finding myself, I'm using that for search before going to Google. So just a word of advice that when you go to the Apple Store to download it, make sure you get the official version. It'll say, you know, the official version, OpenAI, and it'll be ranked very high on the app list. So, just get comfortable with the platform.
Yeah.
But generally resistance, you have people that just, don't want to deal with any new technology, and other people that are excited by it, or early adopters, and they realize that, yes, I might be wasting some time on something that may not go anywhere. But if this does go somewhere, I'm early in and I'll reap benefits way before anyone else.
Yep, exactly. And it allows even smaller agents competing with big teams to even do better. It helps every agent across the spectrum in many ways, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Andrea, for you, describe you're an individual agent. Is that
I am
right?
an individual agent. Yeah.
Perfect. How is technology that we have here at Compass, and maybe even ChatGPT, how does that make you compete with maybe small teams or big teams?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to say that I made real trends list this year for the first time. So I'm definitely, couldn't have done it without the efficiency that the Compass tools provide me. I also have 4 kids at home. So I'm a very busy lady, and this just allows me to, grab things from Marketing Center, check on Business Tracker, and, see my documents from start to finish, and stay in touch, stay top of mind, stay in touch with, I'm getting those reminders. I'm seeing which of my clients are opening emails. The AI is just really incredible. And I think a lot of agents, don't think of it as AI. But seeing the progression over the last few years and just seeing how quickly it's kind of gaining ground and how much more we're able to do in such a short amount of time. It's why I've been able to build my business so quickly to, be a top producer as an individual agent. I mean, I feel like the Compass tools are my full-time assistant.
Amazing. I love that. And Rich, same question to you. Like, how have you in your business? Do you have a team, or are you an individual?
No, it's just me.
Yep. So as an individual agent, how have you been able to, use these tools to become competitive with small teams or large teams?
So, well, I mean, not so much using ChatGPT, but other tools. I mean, really, it's the newsletter tool, and I give you a great example. So, the town that I'm focused on, Westfield, New Jersey, and they're going through a major redevelopment process right now. And last fall, a lot of documents were released to the residents from the developer and the town. And as is typical in a small town, or any town, you're going to get, people that are opposed to it and people that support it. And there was a lot of misinformation out there. And I used the newsletter tool to write a weekly newsletter called Important Stuff in Westfield. And I invested my time diving deep into the issues, and I would write about it and explain about it. It was almost like I became an investigative journalist. And that built me credibility in the town with the mayor and the town council, as well as everyone within the development company. And it just brought me credibility, and I kind of pushed aside the brokerage firm that's kind of been the incumbent there for decades. I mean, people look to me because I was explaining things to them objectively. And
I think you illustrated that point of providing more value. What it allowed you to do is provide more value in a much quicker, cleaner, more professional way. And I think that's the real key of using technology, not to replace you, but enhance you. And you just illustrated that point. All right, we got one last question. And Andrea, if you had one piece of advice for every agent on this call, whether they're at Compass or not at Compass, what's your one piece of advice for them for the last half of the year of 2023?
I got to go with, use that CRM and call your 5 people every day, reach out. Those relationships are really what this business are all about.
Love that. Rich, same question to you. What's the one piece of advice you have for every agent from now to the end of the year for what they could do?
So what I would suggest is, wherever you're focused geographically, I would find the issues that the residents really care about. And chances are it's not going to be a real estate issue. Immerse yourself in it, become familiar with it. And then all eyes will kind of turn to you, and you'll establish credibility, and you'll be able to build a lot of new relationships that way.
Beautiful. Well, I cannot thank you two enough.
Rich, Andrea, Dylan, of course, Sky. I love the learnings that I had today. So I'm hoping that our attendees also felt some of that love, and also wanted to say thank you to everybody for spending their time to get better for this industry, better for our clients, and better for our families out there. So we will be back in July with another great topic. I'm going to tell you it's probably a deep dive demo of the entire platform. So if you want to see exactly how everything works, we can do that. But also, we're here for you. So give us a call. Sky, I know. What is your Instagram account? It's blowing up.
My Instagram, I release all kinds of real estate tips, mindset tips. It's just at Sky Michaels. It is the blue check verified one. I am not selling crypto. I'm not renting apartments in New York City. There are some imposter accounts out there. I did put it in the chat, but it is my first and last name, just at Sky Michaels. And I release all kinds of, every Tuesday I have a real estate tip, life tip. I'd love for people to follow me on Insta.
Sure. Well, that's how you know you've made it, when they start spoofing your account. So congratulations. But with all kidding aside, this has been a pleasure. I think this might be closing in on the 50th session of this program at Live Talks. So come again. We'll send it out, the recording and also the invite for the next one. So thank you, everybody. Let's wave goodbye to the good people and good luck today.
Thanks, everyone. Great job, Andrew and Rich and Dylan. Appreciate you all.